how, and more importantly why, to create bank rules in Xero. So first of all, what is a bank rule and when would you use it? So a bank rule is for something that goes through the bank on a regular basis that often doesn't have a need for an invoice attached to it, and it's something that's going to go to the same place every time. So classic examples for bank rules are things like bank charges, wage payments, HMRC payments, potentially insurance payments, and things like that essentially. You wouldn't use it for generic sales invoices or purchase invoices because you would want to match them through properly with the items and invoices going green. So how do we create a bank rule? Well, from the bank reconciliation screen, we can go on options and create bank rule. Or if we're on the little cash coding screen from the bank screen, we can hit here, create bank rule. Both options take us to the same place. So this is indeed a bank fee. So we're going to make a bank rule on this one. And I'm going to show you some best practice tips when creating this. So it can be for spending money, receiving money, or indeed transferring money. First of all, can it match any conditions or all? In most cases, I'd say we want it to match all because we don't just want to grab if one of these things matches. We could end up with a bit of bank rule chaos there and have things being grabbed by bank rules that shouldn't be. So I would always say we want it to match all the conditions that we're going to make. Here we can select several fields. So these are the conditions that need to be met for the bank rule to be applied. So the pay is often one. Again, equals can be useful, but sometimes on things like HMRC payments, it will say HMRC reference 47444222, and the number will be different, slightly different each time. So we don't want equals, we want contains. And as long as that is distinct enough, that's great. We can also have a description if we need to, or indeed we can bin that off if that's enough. Another condition I would always recommend is an amount. And the reason for this is, look, equals £15. Again, I'd normally use less than an amount. Bank fees of £15 might be normal, but you know what? If it's more than £100, I don't want to blindly have a bank rule and just tick it off. I want to be questioning it and go, why have we got a bank fee that's over £100 or £1,000, whatever it is for your business? So I really like using the lesson value just to make sure we're not blindly ticking things off. We then need to make it attach to a contact so it knows what contact to put this to. So if I could spell, we've got Ridgeway Bank already sat here, so we'll pop them in there. So now whenever this transaction comes through, it will post it to Ridgeway Bank. Now, we've got section 3 and section 4. I want to come back to section 3. Section 4 is generally the default where we'll put anything where the bank fee will go. So here would be bank fee for the description. The nominal code will be bank fees. And again, I can type the word bank in and find it, or if I know my nominal codes, I can type the numbers in. We decide if it's got VAT or not on it. And if we've got tracking categories, we can assign it there. We could also split things between nominal codes. So if it was 50% on a bank fee, for example, that was applied to east side, and then we could have our bank fee. Again, it can go to the same nominal or a different one. But in this example, we'll do the same, and that's split 50-50 there. Now, I'm going to come back to section 3. This little fella is generally used for fixed amount of the total fee that needs to go to a nominal code. What does that mean in English? You would generally use that for hire purchase agreements or bank loans. Because with a bank loan, let's say you pay £1,000 a month back to the bank for a bank loan, it's probably the case that maybe £800 of that is the capital repayment, but £200 is interest. And if that's the case, we would pop in here that this is the capital amount and anything else goes into interest. So that's what we use the allocate line items for. Rare, but really, really useful. We then set the reference for it. So are we going to type a reference in every time? Again, I would recommend not doing that. I would just either pick the reference or normally the description because we've wrote that in. So now that will pop that description in there for us. And then do we want to use this bank rule on every single bank or just this one? And then we need to name it. Now, I think that's not the best name in the world because that's not telling us where it's getting posted to. So I, by default, would also pop in where that's going to. And then click save. That's done. And now when we go back to our bank screen, we'll now see, boom, this is a rule that's set up forevermore. That's what it looks like on the bank rec screen. And if I go back to cash coding with the power of a magic refresh, you will now see we've got here Ridgeway Bank has also been coded up with multiple line items, and I can click that to have a look what they are, and that's ready to reconcile en masse. So there's 5 minutes 30 on why and how to create bank rules.